Good day, everyone. Let me introduce to you my research proposal entitled Disaster Prevention Literacy of Secondary School Teachers and Administrators, Basis for Intervention Program in Tablas Island. This is Annaliza M. Enrique, BPAM student of Romblon State University under my professor, Dr. Romel Pelayo. The current scenario and trends in education show that teaching is not limited to the development of varied aspects, but likewise include the protection of the learners from possible harm. Educational system must be a complete package of development and capacitation of the minds of every learner and holistic approach in life. So this is my research proposal abstract. This study will seek to determine the level of disaster prevention literacy of school administrators and teachers. It will also aim to determine the level of success in implementing programs, determining different programs and projects in school, and will come up with an intervention program. Mixed design will be employed where sequential explanatory method will be used. 23 school administrators will be selected using complete enumeration, and 108 teachers will be selected randomly, which will participate in this study for the academic year 2020-22 to 2020-23. Survey questionnaire will be patterned from Sung Chin and Ching JYH 2016. A researcher-made survey questionnaire will be gathered on the level of success in implementing the mandated intervention programs, while checklists will be used to gather data on programs or projects in school aside from the government's mandated programs. An interview guide will be prepared to gather responses for the emergence of themes: median, t-test, frequency, percentage, and rank will be the statistical tools to be used. For the research matrix, we have research objectives. The study aims to determine the literacy level and disaster prevention of the teachers and school administrators that will serve as the baseline data to come up with a plan to improve the implementation of the particular program. For the research question, we have first, what is the level of disaster prevention literacy of the teachers and administrators in the term of disaster-related knowledge, readiness behavior, disaster awareness, disaster adaptation, and risk perception? Second, does level of disaster prevention literacy vary across teachers and administrators? Third question is, what is the level of success in the implementation of disaster intervention programs undertaken by the different schools in Tablas Island? Number 4 question, what DRRM programs and projects had been undertaken by school administrators and teachers on disaster risk management? And lastly, given the findings, what intervention programs can be proposed to enhance the level of disaster prevention literacy of the teachers and administrators? For the title, we have Disaster Prevention Literacy of Secondary School Teachers and Administrators, Basis for Intervention Program in Tablas Island. And for the sampling technique and sample size, we're going to use the random sampling technique, and the correspondence of this, or the respondents of this study is 23 school administrators will be selected using complete enumeration, and 108 teachers will be selected randomly in this study for the academic year 2020-22 to 2020-23. For the research tools, we will be using median, t-test, frequency, percentage, and rank. And for the research designs and data analysis, we have mixed design will be employed where sequential explanatory method will be used. This is the conceptual framework of my research proposal. The A, B, C, D, and E. A stand for assessment, B for baseline, C for the component, D for the delivery, and E for the evaluation. Since this investigation is geared towards establishing a more workable and effective implementation of the disaster risk reduction program and thus requires to evaluate the disaster prevention literacy of teachers and administrators. This study will use the strategic planning model A, B, C, D, and E as a research paradigm. Start with assessment. This is an evaluation of the current scenario of the RRM programs in school. The second step is to baseline the gap. This is where data from assessments are being gathered and treated. The third is the component of strategy. In this phase, the researcher will be able to come up with a proposed action plan that involves the different objectives, activities, methodologies, and processes and other features to be undertaken. The fourth phase is the delivery. In this phase, the researcher will be able to come up with a proposed action plan that involves the different objectives, activities, methodologies, and processes and other features to be undertaken. Last is to determine whether learning took place among the teachers and school administrators. This is identified as evaluation in the framework. Let me present to you the reviewed articles of the different authors of my research proposal. Security and safety shall be upgraded after identifying the fragments of the RRM programs that need enhancements. However, improvements for any identified programs can only be achieved after thorough studies and researchers will be conducted. The result of this investigation would probably be utilized as the basis for conducting varied activities to attain the desired goals. Teachers as well as school administrators would be enlightened on how effective their efforts regarding the implementation of the DRRM plan in school level. Results would serve as basis in the formulation of development programs of the disaster preparedness and mitigation and shall enhance or stabilize the literacy in disaster prevention in their own school levels. Also, future researchers can benefit from the results of this investigation. Findings will serve as the background information for further studies. For stakeholders such as parents, private sectors or NGOs, this study shall be an eye-opener for them to come up with activities that they could share to improve or sustain the disaster preparedness and prevention literacy in the schools where they participate. LGUs would likewise benefit from this study since after having been informed of the results and findings, their necessary actions for development of the DRRM programs would be specifically determined. Through this immediate response and assistance shall be expected after the approval and publication of the study. Thank you very much.